very simple story. 2 years ago, 3 years now, when we left the government, after the elections of 2022, I took up an assignment with the World Bank here in Washington, D.C. The nature of my assignment was such that I could not be allowed under the terms of service to come to town hall meetings like this. I kept quiet, looked out for some of my friends and my former classmates like Professor Otiso. So when you see him speaking here as a professor, that's how we were taught. That's how smart our class was. If I may brag. Then, slowly, we had this conversation about our country and so on and so forth. By last year, 2024, when demonstrations began that you guys saw, and the Gen Zs demonstrating, people asking questions. I mean, quite frankly, I began to get this pressure and questions from people. Why don't you go to public life? Why don't you come back and contribute? It became very serious. Sometimes, because I have gone home every time I had leave, because I didn't have a problem, I did not run away from my country. I never hide, bend or shrug from responsibility. And I'm ready to answer questions anyone may have about my life. So, you know, I met people, and some of them people I take very seriously. You know, walk up to you sometimes, at social places, restaurants, ordinary people. I had an experience where I went to Westlands one time to have coffee with some friends of mine. I couldn't even actually sit down and have coffee because everybody, the waiters, everybody come there, they ask me, you know, CS, mbona mnatuacha namna hii bwana? Why don't you know, tunazama, you know, and so on things. Why are you doing this? Until it now began to look like I am committing a crime if I am not going to participate in what is going on. So when some of the faith-based leaders in our country, some of whom I respect a lot, said, and you know, all of you wonderful people will relate to this, that when people like Pastor Spora here or Imam Sadiq tell you they want to see you, they usually don't see people just like that. They usually are carrying a very heavy message because they are not ordinary people. You know who they speak for sometimes. So then they tell you, oh, let us have a meeting. I met a number of them. They ask me now, you know, CS, you know, you disappointed us in 2022. We thought you were going to be on the ballot. You didn't go. So now, are you guys going to watch like this as the country goes out? So here is my first answer, Dr. Bogonko, to your questions. I am in this, and I decided, after speaking to a lot of people and listening to some of you and others, that let me go and make my contribution to my country and take my experience and the years of service that I've had, the knowledge I have of government, and put my colleagues together, work together with them to try and fix some of the challenges we have in the country. So, as I stand here tonight, I bring you greetings from my colleagues whom I'm working with, the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, who is in Texas right now. Sends his regards to you. The Honorable Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka, whom we work. Honorable Mother Karua, who was here a while ago. And my brother, my friend, and my colleague in cabinet, the Honorable Eugene Wamalwa. We've been having conversations among us ourselves and many other people, you know, on, so how do we go forward from here and what do we do for our country? And when you ask me, people are saying, who am I, where did I come from? There are people in this room. I have seen people here since I came to Minnesota. I grew up with, people I went to school with. I grew up in the village, walking to school, 5 kilometers in the morning, 5 kilometers for lunch, 5 kilometers back to school after lunch, and 5 kilometers back home in the evening. So that was like 20 kilometers a day. Because that is true. Prof, if you estimate the distance from my home to Manga Primary School is like 5 kilometers. And then I was there in primary school, we were together. I said last night I'm one of those people who does not need to go to court to get an order to prove that I went to school. Because I'm not like some people in Kenya who claim, because when I was Minister for Education, I used to tell people, the easiest way to destroy a country is to begin with this rubbish about people who have got to go to court to look for court orders to prove that they went to school. Because if you went to school, how did you go to a school where you don't have a classmate, you don't have a teacher, you don't, I mean,